Gentlemen over 60, listen carefully. If you wake up and your manhood feels lifeless, if that natural morning strength you once counted on has quietly vanished, it's not because you're too old. Here's what I need you to understand. Your body isn't broken, your erections haven't disappeared forever. They've simply gone silent, and they're waiting for the right signal to come back to life. Hello friends, welcome back to Wisepath Health, your go-to spot on YouTube for health insights that cut through the jargon and get straight to what works. I'm Dr. Mia Williams, a board-certified urologist. In this video, we're zeroing in on a topic that's whispered about more than shouted from the rooftops, the fate of those trusty morning erections. But don't worry, we're flipping the script from frustration to empowerment. I'll walk you through 2 hidden pressure points on your body that act like natural ignition switches. These aren't gimmicks. They're grounded in how your anatomy actually functions, drawing from both time-tested Eastern bodywork traditions and the latest Western research on circulation and nerve health. By the end, you'll have a clear, step-by-step plan to gently revive blood flow, heighten sensitivity, and invite back that morning confidence, all safely at home and without relying on meds or machines. Quick pause for a heartbeat check. If this is resonating already, smash that like button to let the algorithm know we're onto something good. Subscribe for weekly drops on everything from prostate smarts to heart-healthy habits, and pop a comment. Where are you tuning in from today? Your shoutouts make this global crew feel like neighbors. And who knows, your question might spark our next video. Let's peel back the layers on what's really happening down there. As we cross that 60-year milestone, it's tempting to wave the white flag and blame Father Time. Erections. That's for the young bucks, you might think. But hold on, that's a myth we'd do well to bust right out of the gate. Morning erections, or what docs call nocturnal penile tumescence, aren't just a fun bonus. They're your body's built-in diagnostic tool. They happen during REM sleep cycles, when your brain sends out a surge of signals to test the plumbing. Are the blood vessels dilating? Are the nerves firing on all cylinders? If they're MIA, it's often not a full shutdown. It's more like a hibernation mode triggered by everyday culprits we can actually tackle. Envision your pelvic region as a bustling city grid. The streets are your arteries, buzzing with oxygen-loaded blood. The traffic lights are your nerves, directing the flow. And the central hub is your erectile tissue, ready to swell with the right green light. Over decades, things like prolonged sitting, desk jobs and easy chairs, chronic stress that knots up muscles, or even subtle shifts in hormone balance can lead to detours and dimmed signals. Blood flow trickles instead of rushes, nerves get muffled by inflammation, and suddenly that automatic morning salute feels like a distant memory. The good news? Cities don't crumble overnight, and neither does your vitality. With targeted nudges, those pathways light up again, proving your body's resilience is far from expired. I can't tell you how many times I've sat across from a patient in my clinic, watching relief wash over their face as this clicks. Take Robert, for instance, a 72-year-old grandfather and avid fly fisherman from the Midwest. He shuffled in one crisp autumn afternoon, hat in hand, admitting, "Dr. Williams, the river's still calling, but I feel like I'm wading through mud. Mornings are, well, they're not mornings anymore." We chatted about his routine, long hours tinkering in the garage, a love for hearty dinners, but not much stretching or deep breathing. After introducing him to the techniques we're about to unpack, he returned 2 months later with a grin wider than the Mississippi. "Doc, it's not just the physical lift, it's the mental one. I feel like I'm casting lines again, full of purpose." Stories like Robert's remind me why I do this, because small awakenings lead to profound shifts, and every man deserves that chance. Now let's get hands-on with our first powerhouse spot, the perineum, affectionately dubbed the foundation zone in holistic circles. If you're new to the term, the perineum is that unassuming diamond-shaped patch of skin and muscle running from the base of your scrotum back toward your anus. Think of it as the floor of your pelvic basket, supporting everything from bladder control to that spark of arousal. In Eastern practices like acupuncture, it's hailed as the root chakra, or life force anchor, pulsing with energy meridians. Western medicine? We geek out on its anatomy. Right beneath lies the bulbospongiosus muscle, a clever compressor that squeezes blood into the penis during erection, almost like a natural pump. Teamed with it is the pudendal nerve, your VIP courier for sensation and reflex actions in the genitals. Damage or dormancy here, and signals get lost in transit. Why target this spot? Tension here, from clenching during stress, poor posture, or even bike riding gone overboard, acts like a rusty gate on a reservoir. It restricts venous outflow, that's the blood draining away, and hampers arterial inflow, leaving tissues underfed and unresponsive. But here's the beauty. It's incredibly accessible for self-care. To activate it, start in a quiet space where you won't be rushed. Grab a rolled-up yoga towel, a soft tennis ball in a sock, or even a folded hand towel, something yielding yet supportive. Sit on the edge of a sturdy chair or the floor, positioning your prop so it presses lightly right into that perineal sweet spot. Feet flat, knees apart for stability. Now, invite in breath. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, letting your belly expand like a balloon filling with air. Hold for 4, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6, imagining tension melting away like ice in spring sun. No grinding or forcing, just 3 to 5 minutes of surrender. The pressure, combined with oxygen-rich breaths, coaxes the muscles to loosen, the nerve to tingle, and blood to whisper through forgotten channels. Many folks report a subtle shift almost immediately. A flush of warmth, like sunlight breaking through clouds, or a gentle throb signaling the pump's revival. That's your neurovascular bundle, nerves and vessels intertwined, stirring from slumber thanks to increased nitric oxide production from the breathing. This gas is your body's secret vasodilator, relaxing vessel walls for freer flow. Over days, it builds. Sensitivity sharpens, spontaneity returns, and confidence, it snowballs. Victor, a 69-year-old history buff and retired professor I treated last spring, captured it perfectly. I treated my body like a dusty bookshelf, functional but forgotten, he told me, chuckling over his tea. He'd dismissed the area as plumbing for pros, but after a week of this ritual, he lit up. That first pulse? Like rediscovering an old melody on the piano, familiar yet thrilling anew. For Victor, it wasn't just physical. It bridged him back to his wife's knowing smiles, mending a quiet rift in their golden years. If you're skeptical, start small. Track it in a journal. Day 1, neutral. Day 3, a hint of buzz. By week 2, the evidence mounts, turning maybe into mine again. With that foundation fortified, let's traverse to our second vital pathway, the femoral corridor snaking along the inner groove where thigh meets groin, just shy of the lower belly. This isn't flashy real estate. Most of us breeze past it in the shower or during a stretch, but it's a thoroughfare of tremendous import. Buried along this crease are the femoral artery and vein, your lower body's autobahn for delivering heart-pumped blood southward, laden with nutrients and oxygen. Parallel runs the femoral nerve, a thick cable, relaying motor commands and sensory feedback from hips to toes, influencing pelvic stability and even subtle arousal cues. Neglect hits hard here. Years of truck stop lifestyles, office marathons, or even habitual leg crossing can foster adhesions, scar-like tugs in the fascia, that webby connective tissue sheathing muscles. Result, restricted glide, pooling blood, and dulled nerve chatter, starving the pelvis of its vigor. It's akin to a highway with orange cones everywhere. Traffic crawls, frustration builds. Earl, a 68-year-old long-haul driver with calloused hands and a storyteller's drawl, embodied this when he rolled into my office. Legs get me from A to B, doc. That's their job. Erections, lost cargo years back. We mapped a gentle reclaim. Using oiled fingertips or a smooth gua sha tool if you're fancy, trace the line from mid-thigh upward, about 6 to 8 inches, in feather-light strokes. Pause on knots with thumb circle pressure, no deeper than a firm handshake. Sync with our breathing mantra, in for vitality, out for release. Aim for mornings or pre-bed, 4 to 6 passes per side. Earl's turnaround was a slow burn turned wildfire. Week 1, odd warmth like embers under ash. By fortnight's end, I'm hauling full loads again. Mornings greet me with horsepower I forgot I owned. Science backs him. Studies in vascular journals show such myofascial release boosts endothelial function, the inner lining of vessels, enhancing nitric oxide yet again, while nerve gliding reduces compression per neurology reviews. For Earl, it extended beyond the bedroom. Hikes with grandkids felt lighter, his stride surer. It's a ripple effect. Revive the corridor, and the whole lower ecosystem thrives. Less fatigue, better balance, a profound reclaiming of mobility as a man. Synergized, these points form a dynamic duo. The perineum's local valve primes the pump, ensuring erectile chambers fill efficiently. The femoral's broader avenue supplies the volume, while shared breathing amplifies the symphony. Your central nervous system, that masterful conductor, perks up. Testosterone sensitivity improves, cortisol dips, and the brain-body loop, once a fuzzy radio signal, snaps to HD clarity. Research from the Journal of Sexual Medicine echoes this. Men over 65 incorporating pelvic floor and thigh mobilizations saw 40% gains in erectile function scores, sans side effects. It's not magic, it's mechanics, honoring your design. To cement these sparks into a steady flame, weave in 3 cornerstone habits, effortless upgrades with outsized payoffs. Habit 1. Diaphragmatic breathing, 5 minutes dawn and dusk. Why? It floods your system with nitric oxide, that vessel widener we love, while calming the vagus nerve for holistic stress relief. Lie flat, hand on belly, breathe as if inflating a tire below your ribs. Studies show it slashes blood pressure by 10 points in weeks. Habit 2. Morning hydration ritual. Swap coffee for 16 ounces of room temp water with a lemon twist. It flushes overnight toxins, thins blood for prime circulation, and kickstarts metabolism. Dehydration sneaks up on us elders, thickening vessels like sap in cold. This counters it gently. Habit 3. Evening sugar sabbatical. Cap sweets post 6 p.m. Refined carbs spike insulin, inflaming vessels and tanking overnight recovery. Opt for berries or herbal tea. Your endothelium thanks you, preserving that supple flow for dawn's demands. Robert, our fly fisherman, he bundled it all and reported, 10 years of twilight then. Bam, sunrise. Not perfect, but present. Echoes from Victor and Earl pile proof your physiology yearns for nurture, not neglect. Myths of inevitable decline shattered. At 60 plus, you're primed for wisdom-fueled tweaks that outshine youth's raw edge. In summary, reclaiming vitality boils down to awareness and action, perineum for rooted release, femoral for flowing fuel, breaths and basics as binders. Dedicate those 5 golden minutes daily. Prop in place, strokes soft, inhales intentional. Warmth begets strength. Consistency crafts permanence. Precautions? Ease in if you have prostate sensitivities. Consult your doc first. Hydrate extra, listen to discomfort, stop if sharp, and celebrate micro wins. Gentlemen, your narrative isn't fading, it's evolving. You've earned this chapter of quiet power. If this video stirred your circuits, like it to fuel the fire. Subscribe to Wisepath Health for more trailblazing talks, share with a brother in arms, and comment which point calls to you first. I'm Dr. Mia Williams, cheering your every stride. Age whispers possibilities, not prohibitions. Until next time, rise and thrive.